It's a very good question. It was never on my priority list. It was never on my wish list. I had no idea that I would end up on this side of the world at this age in my life, and I consider it to be a blessing. To be honest with you, it really is a blessing to be here. Yeah, yeah. So no, I never expected to be here. The energy that I feel here from my colleagues, whether it's in the essential or the physiology or the nutrition, everybody that works at Inspire Institute of Sports are very young. They have a lot of energy. They're really willing to learn. They come with a lot of knowledge of what they already have, and I find that personally very inspiring because they have a lot of questions for me that really actually make me think about my life and my journey and my experience in the last 30, 40 years as a coach. Beautiful individuals, very professional, good for the sport, very open-minded when we were competitors. And what I mean was, if you were not prepared to run against either of them, they will let you know. Is do not come into the blocks if you're not prepared. Do not come to Zurich or Lausanne or Brussels if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared to run this competition, then stay home. And that is one of the things I still cherish to this day, and I respect and love about them. It sounds tough on paper, but if you're a sprinter and you cannot do both, then you might as well forget about sprinting. And that is one of the things that I put a lot of attention to since I've been here at Inspire, is I told all of our athletes that you're a sprinter first. So if you have to learn how to run the 1, the 2, and the 4, and you have to understand you need that range in order to be good at all three. And it's easy to specialize once you know that you can handle yourself at a world-class level in all three ranges. So that's what I try to do. It is tough, but everything that we do in the training prepares you for the 2, prepares you for the 4, even prepares you for the 100 meters. So yeah. Character is number one, and every character is unique. It's a good question actually, because I'm coming from a country where I'm working in a country where I think most of my individuals in this institute are discovering their character. And then you have a character as a coach like myself who is willing to pull that character out, and I give them a safe place to be that character. So character is very important. Speed is simple. The average person reaches their top speed at 60 meters. So what speed for me is, I try to teach the athletes to understand themselves with the character they have, the strength, the physical ability, the mental ability, all the tools that they have, how to execute their top speed and to make it longer. So what I basically try to do is I walk them through the 100 meters and I show them where they actually made the progression and where does the race start. And I walk them through the 200 meters with the exact same thing. And I walk them through the 400 meters to explain the exact same thing. That way, what we do as sprinters is with speed, where we are the masters of maintaining that acceleration longer at a high speed. That's what we do as sprinters. And that's what I try to do when I coach these athletes, is a lot of emphasis on biomechanics, but also a lot of emphasis on understanding what you feel when you're in that moment and allowing yourself to feel free to feel that when you're in that moment. It still plays an important role because a lot of the data comes from instinct, because the questions are a question of instinct. So someone has to go out to prove the instinct. So it's still there. It still plays an important role. But what you have is, I'm from a different generation, so I have a luxury problem. I kind of grew up at a time where the sport was revolutionized. So I did not only experience that as an athlete, I experienced it as a coach. And then I also experienced the change in the sport when science came involved, and I've had the opportunity to work in various sports with science. So I do see the value of it, but it's just as important as instinct. It is a tool, and it is a tool to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So yeah, basically that's it. That's my view on it. The good thing about Ajax is what I transfer here is IIS, we get the athletes just like you get them at Ajax. they're on the verge of making the first team. And you have a very short window to prepare that athlete for that next level. So right now, if I recruit an athlete who is 16, 17, I have to be very, very, very smart on how I'm going to use the data and the information that I have to prepare him or her, not to be an Olympic finalist in 2028, but to make 2028 as their first tournament, whereas we can build from 2028 to 2036. That's basically it. And Ajax taught you how to do that. When you have a guy like Ryan Gravenberg, who was so good at 16, we had to accelerate everything we done in training in order for him to be the young man that he is today. So that's what Ajax Football Club had taught me with the tools that we have. What I'm trying to do is use the departments that we have here and use the knowledge of the Indian coaches. We have very, very, very good coaches in India who think India, but they have to think on the global calendar. So the only difference I'm going to bring is to teach the Indian coaches to look at the global calendar, take your program and globalize it, because you've already made a name for yourself as an international team with the 4x4 men and 4x5 women, and also with the javelin, and now with Praveen coming up with the triple jump. You've already made a name for yourself. Now you have to, the name that you've established, you have to build on that. So what I'm trying to do now is use the knowledge of the coaches who can scout the talent, but also take their talent as coaches and help them develop themselves. Because developing athletes is easy, but looking at the coaches who can go into these small little rural areas and find these diamonds, then we also have to find out what do they see, how do they view it, and we also have to help them realize that they have a talent as well. So my main goal is taking the coaches that we have in our institution right now and pulling them to the next level. They have all the tools, but if you look at particularly from the 100 meters to the 200 meters, there's, I could say, a lot of work to be done, but the most work that needs to be done is, first of all, you have to realize that you are a sprinter. When you realize you're a sprinter, then approaching the biomechanics is easier. So I have most of my athletes that come from the 400 meters, and I made them do something totally different this year, and that is put more attention to the details of running the 200 meters. And when I do starts training with them, we do it over 30 and 60 meters, and we do it with a group. So I have a group of 6 girls and I have a group of 6 guys, and every Friday we do start training. And every single one of them said, we've never had starts like this, where we start with everyone. And the goal is to learn how to accelerate, and from the from the drive phase to acceleration. And they've never that kind of experience in a training before. So basically what I'm trying to do is trying to teach them how to use the start block, how to use their body, how to be smart over the first 30 meters so that you can elevate yourself in the transition phase from 60 meters to 75 to 80. So that's basically it. Teach them how to make use of the speed that they've already built up to extend it and extend their acceleration. Basically, it depends on the athlete himself. I'm unique to come from a generation of athletes and coaches who have athletes who are possible of doubling. I have experience with athletes that I've coached that have gone to a tournament, and he's done the long jump and he turns around and runs 100. And sometimes he has a really, 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 really good long jump day and he can come around and have a terrible 100. Or sometimes he goes and he has a good 100 and then he has a good long jump. Or he could have a good 100 and have a good, reasonably good 200. So it's good. It's difficult to choose which one, and it's difficult to have a good day at both doubles. And if you do have a good day at both doubles, then you're doing something special. So it's hard to say which event is your event, as long as you have range at a world-class level and you can still go out there and run a 1018, a 1020, or a 20.5, 20.6, or 46 flat and a 45.8, then that's a good day. That's a good day. Professionalism and being able to be in a position where most of my managers were managers that gave me freedom to be who I am. They allowed me to not only use my essential or the physiologist or the nutritionist, but also they coach me on my intuition. They really, really, really coach me on how to use my intuition. You can follow it, but learn to ask yourself a different question with your intuition. And they gave me that freedom to be myself with that. And that is something that I cherish. And that is something that I've noticed, that I've been here for 3 months and I've worked with a few coaches, and they've come to me and they said, thank you so much for giving me the freedom to try to explore who I am. So that's something that I pass on what was given to me. Hell no, not at all. I have no desire to lace up and try that again. When I retired, I retired. And that's why, probably because I became so successful in coaching, is when I retired, I really retired from the sport. I put that aside. I don't feel any envy of that I should try anything anymore. No, I've done with that. And that's why I can really enjoy coaching and enjoy being a coach and enjoy having very fun conversations with the athletes that I work with. Yeah. I see a lot of positive things in the next 2, 3 years. I have a personal project with my manager because I have a soft spot for the relay. So I really, 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 really would love to play a role in putting together a very good women's 4x1 relay team. So that is something that my manager and I, that's sort of like a personal goal for us. And I really would like to use the tools that we have at JSW to take the next 2.5 years to build it. Like I said, once we get everything on campus, I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to be a kid in a candy store working with 6 to 8 young, experienced sprinters in the 4x100, so that over 2 years, 2.5 years, India will see the women's 4x1 lining up at the semifinals of the World Relays, and they will be challenging for a spot at the World Championships. That's something that's I'm really, 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 really looking forward to. Yeah. It's a wonderful achievement to run 38.68. That's no joke. And if you look at the level of Indian sprints, it's no surprise to me. I've only been here for 4 months. I've seen all of these gentlemen run. I saw them at the national games. I saw them at the Federation Cup. So when these guys went 38.68, I'm not surprised. They could run 38 too, to be honest with you, if they really put more time on the exchanges and understanding how to run the exchange zone, then they could make the finals of the World Championships. It's like I said, you guys have a world class team out there. You're running 38.6. You have a world class team, so that's no problem. So I would not be surprised if they keep everything together and do what they're supposed to do, and they make the top 16 at the next world relays. Then you have a good chance. Yeah. Not right now. Your 200-meter runner who ran 2040 and broke the national record? Animesh, yes, I love him. He's a beautiful kid. He has beautiful character. I hopefully that in the next few months that he's able, not months, but next few years, he's able to make the changes that he needs to make in order to establish himself at the world class, because right now he's in a unique situation. He's in that pool of sprinters that run 20.40, and that is a huge pool. He has to do everything now to be consistent at 20.4. If he's able to stay consistent this year at 20.4, make the top 4 at the Asian Championships, qualify for Commonwealth Games, then I think another year and a half from now, you're looking at one of the best sprinters in the world. So you're looking at a kid who's going to end up running 20.3, 20.2, 20.1. So he has allowed himself to grow in that phase. And yes, it has to do with training, but it also has to do with how he views himself. I don't know his total coaching structure. I do talk to his coach every now and then. His coach speaks highly of him. His coach says that the sky is the limit with him. So let's just keep our fingers crossed, and yeah, let's see how that works out for him. Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. And track and field is the only sport where you literally have to go out and run for the paycheck that is given to you. It's not like in professional football or cricket where you sign a contract and this is your contract. So I applaud what Michael Johnson is doing. It's the first year. It's the second track meet. I kind of don't like the hard critic that is facing, because you're getting criticism from people who made the sport difficult over the years. And Michael Johnson is like, listen, these guys need to get paid. Yeah. And I found a way for them to make some money and make the sport more attractive. And it has changed with the times. It is not when Michael and I used to race. These kids are not going to make that kind of money. So he found found a way to allow these kids to make some money, and they control their futures. So I think it's wonderful. It's fun to see what these kids are earning because they have to pay for their coaches. Yeah, they have to pay for their coaches. They have to pay their own rent. They have to supply everything for themselves. So if someone is offering me an opportunity to double in the 2 and the 4, and I can walk out with $150,000, I'm going to do that. I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. So no, it's good for the sport. It's good for the athlete, and it's part of the changing times that we live in at this moment. So give the event. Something I learned in the Netherlands is if you start a business, you have to give yourself 5 years to see how the business is going to go. And the first 3 years are going to be tough. But if you survive the first 3 years and the second half of the third year, then you know what's going to happen in the last 2 years of your project. So I would give him some more time. Give him and this project some time. Don't be too quick to cut him off at the knees. Yeah.